guys got through to the grand final, only to be beaten. Here's Ghazi, Saade Ghazi, the Platten lookalike has threaded it. And he's been a sensation since coming into this Williamstown side, and he's got the first goal this afternoon inside 2 minutes.
Certainly knows where the goals are, Ghazi. It's an excellent snapshot. Yes. Here we saw Fitzpatrick under pressure, and Ghazi, a superb snap on the left foot.
That's what I think will worry them, that they're under so much pressure, the Port Melbourne backmen.
Oh, gets a nice bounce. Good pressure from Littler. Sheldon. Now Ghazi. The little fella's been quiet, but he's brilliant. Bananas it. Oh, magnificent. Saade Ghazi.
Well, what do you say there, Ross? That's an absolute gem of a goal. A clinker from Saade Ghazi. And wasn't he happy about it too? Rickman finding space again. Look at Ghazi pivot on a 5-cent bit. And even Sheldon, who's a very agile player, couldn't restrain him.
Changed his mind 3 times. Found McGowan. Well, Coburg had plenty of time to pick men up there because Williamstown were indirect.
Oh,
and here's another loose one. Well, this is unbelievable from Coburg, that they should have left so many men unmarked. Saade Ghazi is 30 metres out, almost directly in front. It's there. Ghazi's second is the first of the third quarter, and Williamstown get it. They strengthen their lead to 50 points, and there's a mini wave over there from the Seagull fans. Carl picks it up first time. Ghazi's loose. Chase is on, and he wins it clearly. Bassett couldn't nab him. Oh dear! It's a miraculous goal. It wasn't even in his thinking, Saade Ghazi, to go for the goals.
No, he was passing the ball to Litchfield, and Evans lost sight of the flight of the ball. Litchfield realised he was under it and about to double back. But Evans, you'll see it here on replay, lost sight of the ball, and the ball just floated over both of their heads and into the open goal. Watch. Well, Evans was too far under it as well. He was in no man's land to do anything about it. Ooh. No, he did not.
He was showered, I think, before the final siren.
Bearing in mind, he was playing against the side that you wouldn't quite classify as a... Well, we all saw that.
Rakavolis on Ghazi.
He was playing against a reserves combination that almost resembles a senior side for most other clubs.
Want to swap him, Sam?
No, I'll stick with mine. Mine is showing some very positive signs.
Ghazi, he's third of the quarter, and he's fifth for the afternoon. And he gets it. Well played. Saade Ghazi started slowly, but really come to life later in the game.
Well, Ross, if they did have a weakness, Williamstown, what would you pinpoint as a weakness, a possible weakness?
Back into the middle of the corridor, and it works too. Barry Round, nice chip pass. He finds Ghazi inside 50, shot on goal coming up. Allowed for the wind. He does, yes, kicks his second. Well, first, I'm sorry, he passed before to Litchfield. A good goal from Saade Ghazi, and scores a level, 13 points apiece.
Yeah, they linked up very well there from that back line. Pastore round, quick.
Don't you notice the skills too, Sam? The kicking there, precise kicking and a precision shot at goal there.
And the short ball handling.
Sign of good sides.
Yes.
You can see the quality of play.
What about Barry Round's short pass? It's come through to Litchfield. Here's Saade Ghazi. That's his second. That's what Rovers are there for on the forward line, and he's getting a bit too much latitude up forward, Ghazi. That's 3 goals he's had a hand in. 2 of them he's kicked himself.
And a superb goal, Peter, but the guy that really needs a pat in the back here is Lindsay Carl for this, you know, excellent. The manner in which he competed in the air against a much taller guy.
Should he have punched? I wonder.
Yes.
Any rains?
No, I don't think so, because he was on his own as the ball came across.
No man within 40 metres. Long kick, Pastore in front, over the back, Ghazi.
Oh, this is just getting too easy. Too easy. Port have really got to take stock here. You know, they really need some leadership from Yorgie.
Saade Ghazi, 10 possessions for the quarter.
You know, players are getting frustrated, and I agree with you, Phil, too big, too strong and too fast. But there's certainly things you can do to at least
hinder them, and that's by applying some body pressure and running with your man, and they're just not applying that their game at all.
Well, look at these men queuing up to receive the ball. Pastore, one of them. No one coming towards him. He's told he's clear by Swan, who puts in a Shepherd. Ball just falls short, but knocked to ground well by Delray. Fellow rover Ghazi for his fourth.
The viewers may not have seen this pasture play. I'm sure they wouldn't have, but Ghazi started from the back pocket and just sprinted all the way up, endeavouring to get involved in the passenger play. He originally made position for Pastore. He was bypassed by Pastore in the direction of Carl, and he kept sprinting and running. As a classic example of reaping rewards for sheer hard work. And he's been a superb player, Ghazi. Absolutely slaughtered them around the packs.
He's pretty nippy, isn't he?
Oh.
4 goals and 21
guys
possessions.
got more pace, Phil.
Rickman's broken clear again. Ghazi. Beautiful delivery and a strong mark from the rover. Saade Ghazi, who came to Williamstown from
Lebanon.
Footscray District League after he'd come from Lebanon. He was best and fairest, or runner-up in the Footscray District League best and fairest, and that was playing just half a season. He played half a season for Footscray in the under-19s, and he was runner-up in the Morrish medal. So put it together, he would have won a best and fairest. He's kicked a goal here with his second shot for the day. So Saade Ghazi extends Williamstown's lead after a period of concerted pressure from Springvale.
An intelligent play from Rickman too in the pocket. This centering kick, we'll see it here. Billy Swan feeding the ball off onto Danny Delray, who will in turn find Rickman. And Rickman, you'll see on the boundary line.
He knows too.
Doing the right thing, yes. Spotting an option inboard.
What a good kick.
Yes, and finding Ghazi.
No one back in the square. They've all come out to half forward for Williamstown. Morney almost. Roving from Ghazi. There's still a chance. 7 points the difference now in favour of Springvale. Saade Ghazi sneaking in there, kicking his second.
He's played very well, Ghazi.
That's made it interesting.
It's been a good pressure game from Ghazi because he's been subjected to a lot of physical pressure, and he's come through very, very well in my book. And there's a classic Rovers goal, reading the ball up the pack.
Where it was looking very nice out there on the bay. Clever tap on from Rickman. Delray. Support from Ghazi. They got one at last. They have.
And from whom, Peter? The guy that invariably sparks the whole Williamstown engine. Saade Ghazi.
1-1 his personal tally. Now they're back in front.
Doesn't he work well with Danny Delray, Sam? We see Delray under pressure, knocks the ball on nicely. And Saade's got an ability to just
pivot, doesn't he?
Yeah, whip around the players. It's very dangerous in those situations.
And Rickman did well early too, knocking the ball on.
There's another possession for Tony Pastore. Oh, Ghazi picking apples. Couldn't rob it though. Here he is again, got leg. Everything going the way of the Towners.
Isn't he a live wire? He's never out of the contest. He can lose it the first time, but you can bet he'll be back for a second chance because he has got great balance.
And desire, Phil.
Yes, certainly he's got that.
No
Sam.
substitute for that if you really want it.
21 possessions for Saade Ghazi. 1 goal to his name so far.
If he wins the big JJ, they'll be dancing in the streets of Beirut on Wednesday nights.
He's got 2 goals today. The team lead by 59 points. Second spot is Williamstown's as David Round brings out the drinks to Saade Ghazi. You take over, will you?
As long as Pat Foy doesn't get in the play, we'll be all right.
Springvale looking to put some respectability onto the board. Morney, rather, Pastore gets it back from Delray. Unselfish to Ghazi. Could have blazed away there. Well, Saade Ghazi looking for his third and queuing to kick up goals in this second half, Williamstown. His 22nd possession goes dead through the middle. 58-point leaders are Williamstown. Ghazi runs up ground to congratulate Tony Pastore, who's had 10 possessions in this last quarter.
It's interesting, Peter, isn't it? At the start of the game, it was Carl and Ghazi who looked really dangerous. Now when the game is really being taken over and completely dominated by Williamstown, it's the same formula. Carl and Ghazi in the last quarter.
Superb kick. He's been a prime contributor this quarter, and that was a tremendously unselfish passage of play by Rickman, feeding it off to Ghazi and the resultant goal. And Saade Ghazi, you know, he's had about 10-11 possession and has really got them moving out of the centre where Barry Round just reigned supreme there.
Behind the pack, it's Ghazi looking for his first. Gets it. Rickman ran the decoy. The fullback went with Rickman and left the gaping hole. Ghazi wasn't going to miss that one.
Well, that's the Ghazi we've known, Peter, isn't it? During the course of the year, running, streaming into the forward line over the back of the pack. And look at the turner pace here too. Beautiful, and he sizes that goal up with his 16th possession.
This thing's just gone out of Springvale, hasn't it, Phil? I'm just looking around at the players there.
Finds Swan into the square. Thumped away. But Carl doing the roving. Good smother. Now a chance for Ghazi on his right foot. He's put it through.
Just take it easy, boys. Hey, there's nothing in it.
And a bit of a to-do behind play.
Peter Francis is down as well at centre half back behind play.
And Jack Aziz was down as well.
Well, the players...
It's a goal.
It's the most important thing, Peter. What a lovely snap by Ghazi.
Players
Phil,
throwing themselves in, Sam, aren't they? There's a lot of pressure and a lot of feeling because they know that the grand final's at stake.
Well, there's no tomorrow.
With support from Burton, he does it quite easily. Carried the ball about 50 metres. Ghazi has marked. He wasn't expecting that. He was waiting to rave it off the pack, but there was no pack, and he took the mark.
And that is really a kickerism, isn't it? Playing a raven role in defence.
Well, what I meant. Phil,
No, he's right. He's a roving raven role.
The role that Jeff Raven's playing for Frankston defence, Philip.
Well explained.
And he's dressed in black, but here's Ghazi for number 3. 40 metres out, and it is the third. The first for Ghazi.
Been quite an auspicious return, hasn't it, Ross? He's had, I would venture to say, 5 or 6 possessions, looking very lively. And how many times have we seen players come back from the VFL after a brief stint and not making it? They tend to have this psychological hurdle and takes them invariably, Philip, 2 or 3 weeks to adjust.
Keane
And this
running
was,
the ball well.
yes,
he did.
and this was intelligent play by Smith. See Smith nominating Ghazi. I would venture to say 2 or 3 years ago, Smith would have gone for that and knocked Ghazi right out.
Keane, that one likewise. Minor took it. Aziz has followed down. Easy goal coming up here for Saade Ghazi. His second. Well, what consummate football from the reigning premiers.
Just what we were saying at quarter time, that little bit of composure under pressure, Phil. A little bit more accomplished and polished.
Yes, well, Keane going into the ruck has exposed David Martin there on Jack Aziz at centre half back. It's a little bit of a problem.
There's Minot with a hand pass. Aziz thought about shooting at goal, but saw a man in Ghazi completely unattended. And he couldn't miss from 20 metres. On the lead, Ian Rickman.
Now that's classic Williamstown play, driving to Rickman on 50, and he's always a chance from that distance to score a goal.
He's chosen to pass. Bad marking, Ghazi. 10-15 metres clear.
Well, it often happens, Ross. Sides predict that Rickman will go back and kick the distance, and someone slots in for a short pass, and there you find it. Need this goal. Williamstown just to settle down a little.
Gary Milligan on the mark. You can see the marks of the stops on his legs. The ruckman just sneaks it in. Saade Ghazi. So Williamstown draw level after 11 minutes and is congratulated by the Willie forwards.
No grab again. Knight battling well. Over to Burke. Wicks. Howlett intercepts. Ghazi on his own. If it bounces up, he just should run straight in and boot it. And he has. Well, they needed that. His second. Williamstown 6th.
They're just not as fluent, though, Tony. It's Williamstown, as we've seen them in the past. Bit of pressure here, Andy Howlett. They really need him to play well at centre-half forward, but a good piece of work. Spots Ghazi. Saade doesn't mess around. Sizes it up well. There's Grant. Sorry. Yep.
They're not out of it just yet. Good play from Vilson's on to Saade. Ghazi on his own, and a badly needed one to the Seagulls. His third.
Yes. Well, Vilson's, if he can stand up, will give that forward line a bit of marking strength and put the Dandenong opposition under a bit of pressure. A mistake here, and then Vilson's onto it. Good play over to Ghazi. Saade could have kept going, maybe handed off to Chops Rickman, but decided to sink the goal and did just that.
Because certainly the Premiers are not playing up to their premiership form by a long shot. Ackley bombs it high for Williams. Front position Cameron. Saade Ghazi the sneak. His first. And the Seagulls are jubilant. They're in front by 4 points.
It's a better possession, Ross, from Ghazi. The base of the pack. We haven't seen that all afternoon. Certainly from Williamstown's viewpoint. The fall of the ball, where the Rovers. Finally, they've got it right. And that's an important goal.
Chipping it out towards Williams. The man really intended for was the height. Into O'Connor. On half forward. Over the top. Ghazi running, but they're at a bad angle. But Ghazi makes no mistake from that angle. That's a great goal from Saade Ghazi, the listed medalist. And finally, Williamstown have their first major on the board. And Barry Round looking a little bit more pleased about that.
A little bit more relieved. Here we see Height coming out of defence, finding O'Connor quickly onto McGowan, who in turn relays it onto Ghazi on his preferred left foot, drilled a fine goal. And Ghazi really, along with Swan and Ackley, have probably been the mainstay of the side throughout the year.
Towards O'Connor. Too strong for Langbourne. Ghazi. And he's free kicked for a high tackle. So the Tags have given away a few free kicks in their attempt to slow down these two. There it is by Harrington. It wasn't his tag, but definitely a free kick. So 10 points at the moment, the difference. Now Coburg back in front, approaching the 15-minute mark. Saade Ghazi for his second goal. And he gets it.
Makes no mistake, Saade. Had a fine afternoon. This is significant, Ross, that both sides have displayed their best form when their backs have been to the wall. Yeah, it's amazing. But it was a vital goal for Williamstown to get them back within 4 points.
Tasinovic spoiled. McGowan, the Rover, popped one high from Doyle. It's gone on and been put through for a goal. Ghazi, was it?
Yes.
Tasinovic it was who did the hard work. He gets a pat on the back, but Saade Ghazi scores the goal, and that's his third. And now Williamstown back in front.
He's really working hard. It was a fine piece of play by McGowan. I'm sure there was no malice intended here. An open hand. And the loose ball to Tasinovic. No, it was in fact Ghazi. McTaggart.
See, Tasinovic did some strong work here to keep out Littler.
And there's the hand pass by McGowan onto the running Ghazi, and he's shaking his taggers off. Just too fit.
Now they've lost it. Kick it, call the old stages. Up to centre half forward. Roving at Shanks. Bit of time. Spears the pass to Rickman.
Just a little too extravagant and a touch of arrogance, and paid the penalty.
Short on to Ghazi, and he almost went, but only 20 metres from goal.
Unselfish play by Rickman, spotting the unattended Ghazi.
Yeah, Sam, I reckon the standard of VFA footy is continuing to improve.
Oh, Phil, last week's game was absolutely sensational.
Ghazi at goal. No mistake. And the second on the goal on the board for the Seagulls.
That's good play by Ian Rickman to Roscoe. He's known as a long kick. He's probably within distance, but he decided to palm it off to Saade Ghazi.
good team football.
Saade Ghazi second in the club best and fairest last year, but their top goal kicker was 31 goals. Now they've really got to have some spearhead to do better than that this year if they're going to be a force.
And their runners are equal to the task.
Story out of the pack. Ghazi running with a float. Harris gives it to Ghazi. Garrett had him before he had the ball, and he's upset, but he was being held, Ghazi.
Yes.
And there, he's got the end of it, but definitely being held with Saade Ghazi. And Chris Garrett might pay for this. Ghazi kicked one goal already. And that makes two. And Willie running right away in the latter part of this first quarter. Hamill would spoil Mitchell on wood. Simons at the fall of the ball. Ghazi has to fly and brings it down. Well, Saade Ghazi outmarking Jeff Amor.
Well, he was the only Williamstown player within sight here, and have a look. The little man did so wonderfully well.
Mark that, mate. Where he come from?
Ooh,
Got it pretty high, didn't he, Sam?
that was a superb mark. I feel more he'd be feeling quite ill with himself, being outmarked by the Rover.
Saade Ghazi getting his first goal of the afternoon.
Yes, and as you said, Peter, all that good work in the initial 10 minutes of that quarter by Frankston has now been undone by allowing Williamstown back in with a couple of goals to nullify the situation.
Rickman, sport by Williams. Ghazi hitting it and is tripped.
Thought Parker was just running straight at the ball, but maybe we're getting a little coloured. You might see it again.
Well, the way Frankston have played in the opening 11 minutes of the quarter, they deserve to have made it much closer than it is.
Here comes.
That was a body check, wasn't it? The foot did move a little bit, but those Frankston supporters will be hoping Ghazi doesn't take advantage of it. 35, 40 metres, side angle.
That's it.
The second goal for Saade Ghazi in the match. And those two goals from Williamstown, from Venner and Ghazi, have cancelled out the two from Theodore, which began the term for Frankston.
Exactly, Peter. They've no doubt looked the more impressive side in this third term, Frankston, but just can't get the scoreboard to indicate that. Robert Mace, the Frankston coach, certainly has got his problems at the moment.
Sam Parker climbed up the goalpost there and had hold of it. What did he touch the ball?
They enjoy the coverage.
Oh, Saade Ghazi is flattened, and it's well and truly on now. Football's still going on, but there's trainers coming from everywhere, runners. There's about 4 players playing football while the box-on takes place.
Well, this is a disgraceful scene now.
We haven't seen this in the VFA for a long time. And Rickman's come right from full forward to remonstrate with Robert Mace. I don't know whether any of you saw it, gentlemen, but Ghazi, I just saw him keel over and go flatten his back. They've been really out for him all day. Some very tight checking on Ghazi. Been legitimate up until that stage.
Well,
Enable them to get back into play, but Saade Ghazi has copped something very unlawful, I would suggest.
Well, charges may be laid too, Peter, you know. Now the policeman on the ground, the rules are vastly different. Yeah, it's a terrible shame to see incidents like this occur. There are certainly many avenues open to players to demonstrate their physical presence on the ground without resorting to, you know, blatant tactics such as that. And I think it'll work against Frankston in the final analysis.
Back at centre field. Wilson up against Perry. Young.
Oh.
Well, just cutting out of the highlights because the police and the umpires going over to Robert Mace.
All right, understand? All right, no, you're not off the ground. You've been reported.
Well, obviously, Robert Mace has been reported, but not for an offence adjudged serious enough for him to be sent off the ground.
Yes, but I suspect there may be a little bit more to it with the police involved there, Peter. And they've made very little headway. They're across half back, up forward, looking at Harkins, and there's... Yes, that could well qualify for the mark of the day by Ghazi. Ghazi playing a superb game, the Rover.
There it is. Yes, he climbed up over the captain Harkins.
Over 6 foot. Good match up with Shelton.
Ignores the lead from the full forward. Oh, here's Ghazi. Well, that wasn't what they planned, Ashley Koenig, but it'll do.
Well, he's been on the leash, Saade Ghazi, with Nick Probert tagging him out of the back pocket.
Well, this was intended for Ghazi, but
For Aziz.
for Aziz, I mean.
Oh, God, you like copping those, Sam, don't you, if you were a small forward. Over bounced up. Didn't even have to change direction or miss a beat.
Yes.
And punted it through. They needed that. I just felt they're under quite a bit of pressure.
Gould. Howlett. Ghazi streaming downfield. Lovely weight on the kick. Brilliant delivery, Howlett.
And 50 metres.
Was too.
I think he's a bit stiff there.
Good hard running by Saade Ghazi. Slotting himself into that hole.
No, but I'd just like to see it again, but I thought that was a little bit rugged, that.
Well, this makes the difference 12 points. Ghazi second.
Yes, and all of a sudden, Williamstown are in with a distinct chance.
Well, I think
They look gone at three-quarter time, but to their credit,
we've got to give Roundy a bit of a rap. Here's the 50 metre. We'll see here. Let's just see what happens.
well, he knocked the ball out of his hand.
Well, yeah, he did, but
It's a 50-metre pit.
well, whether it was intentional. But Roundy's made a couple of good moves, actually, Sam. Howlett to centre half forward.
Well, he's a capable player, Howlett, can take a good mark.
Williams centre half back, and Aziz to full back. They've all worked.
For a long one to McTaggart. Good running, McTaggart. Oh, well tackled. High, said the umpire. McTaggart, Lucas, another tackle. Here's the long kick, a bit late. Ghazi! Oh, what a mark!
Sensational. And I'll tell you what, it's nearly a 50 metre there too, Roscoe. Very close.
3 men who were on him, I think.
Well, what
Look
a
at this.
lifter. What a lifter.
With Big Martello coming in, backing into a pack.
Gee, they've come alive, the Seagulls. All the moves that Barry Round made have come off. Turned it into a great game. When it just looked like Paran, we're going to go away with it. Must kick the goal, though.
A Liston medalist. He has, and it's back to 6 points.
And we have got a game.
Third goal to Saade Ghazi, and that's the lift that Barry Round wanted from many more of his players, including some
There
of
we
their
see it,
champions.
Roscoe. Look at Ghazi to get the front position. That's real class. Real class. Been pretty well held with the tags, but that's what you need. When you're being tagged, you need to pull something out of the box.
17.5 minutes played. Pastore. They've got to get a goal out of this forward push the Seagulls. Oh, O'Connor through the eye of the needle to Ghazi. 3 in the corner for Ghazi.
6 points the difference. Now, this is a fantastic game. 22 possessions for Ghazi. Although he's been tagged, he's really... And this is great play by O'Connor. Beautiful handball. Saade Ghazi has set the game up at the most dramatic that it's been all day. It's been a tough old tight encounter, but now we're really staring at something special.
Long. Raking left footer. Swan, has he got the recovery? They come from everywhere, the 2 blue defenders. Swan to Ghazi, 8th possession for the corner. He's got himself clear. Rickman back there. It's a goal!
Scores are tied. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it.
What a bit of magic from Saade Ghazi.
just phenomenal play by Ghazi. He has beaten the field to kick that goal in. Rickman shepherd, Sam. Spot on.
Yeah, worked very hard.
What a game.
Tremendous play by Ghazi.
What a performance by Williamstown. You would have sworn they were gone.
Halfway through the quarter. Carried the two, Ghazi, after being tagged. Could have easily dropped his bundle, but hung in there strongly.
What a performance.
Pretty good too. Not a bad kick. In front, McCormack. Thrusts aside Rickman, loses his footing, lost his balance. Oh, could pay the penalty. Ghazi as Rickman kicks off the ground. Ghazi soccers it home. And it's 3 in the quarter to Williamstown.
Rickman's play there was just sheer football genius. When we talk about the Macedonian marvel, Peter Dacos, but this bloke Rickman's not bad at the caper either. We'll see it here. Like, Cormac goes on, gets on his wrong side. Look at Rickman in the pack. Fantastic play, and Ghazi smart enough to put it off the deck. Terrific teamwork, Williamstown.
Terrible mistake by McCormack. He's lost his footing. Extremely skillful player, David Dwyer, and that'll be an important clash on this. John Elliott stand wing, him and Moray.
Torpedo, long, Pastore, roving Ghazi. Oh, magnificent effort, Saade Ghazi from nowhere. Kicks the goal.
Yes, well, Williamstown have lined up with Jason Williams, I think, in a forward pocket, being picked up by Warwick Angus. I think that's a very good move, gives him a bit more strike power up there. On that occasion, it was Pastore, who's very good overhead, nearly plucked the mark, and Ghazi, quick as a flash, onto it. And as we know, he's very dangerous around the goals. Kicked 4 goals in the final quarter of a final 2 weeks ago against Paran. Great start to the game.
Well, Sandy. Angus or Argus, it comes off both of them. Dwyer to Ghazi. How they need this one, the Seagulls. Saade provides it. 2 goals for the Rover. The former listed medalist has them within 61 points.
Well, somewhat fortuitous goal, this one too. It was just an indiscretion by the Sandy defence. I think it was Argus who chimed in. Nonetheless, Dwyer, quick hand pass onto Ghazi, and one of the few scoring opportunities presented to Williamstown. He made the most of it.
Ackley, Dwyer against a taller opponent. Ghazi roving. Dwyer finds Ghazi inside 50. Minette clear. Ghazi shoots at goal and might have got it too. A very fine individual goal from Saade Ghazi, makes it 3 for the day.
Well, he's a great little player, Saade Ghazi. He's just so adept at either breaking a tackle or finding a path through players. And he knows here he really wants to make something of it. He's cornered and slips around Michael Ford and kicks a lovely goal. They need another 7 in 15 minutes. It's a tall ask.
O'Connor quickly to Rickman. This will go close if he gets onto it. Here he is. The fly came from Garrett, and that left the goal square open. There's the goal from Ghazi. Chris Garrett should have stayed down.
And what a wonderful knock-on. That's almost by Stephen Zamigal. That's like Wayne Harmsville.
Yes, except this one was actually in.
Sort of evoked the memories of the Harms incident, Phil.
But that was good call too, Peter. Look at Garrett up behind the pack. I mean, you just don't do that when you're a small player. You stay down and wait, and that's what Ghazi did, and the ball's knocked out.
Gee,
good goal. It's a good game. Some great individual contests.
So they're the team-orientated things that really does lift the side.
There's the overhead smash that gets it all the way to Johansson. They'll take the lead here if Ghazi can goal. He can.
Yes.
Well, that's directly out of the engine room, Phil.
Well, exactly, Sam. Things fell right for Williamstown there. The right bounce. Nick Johansson got a good bounce. You can't ask for better than that. Over the top, and Ghazi sums it up, keeps it low, puts it through. And we've got a game now.
Mobility.
Real tight.
Is that the word you were thinking of, Sam? Mobility?
Yeah, it does, yeah, and a bit more flair. They're not as predictable up forward, Ross. You know, with Rickman at full forward, they've always been pretty easy to combat.
when they get here.
That's ball.
It's a good tackle on Bolzen, who wants to go on with it with Pastore. Meanwhile, there's a great chance. The paddle from Rickman was brilliant. Ghazi will get a free.
Free kick for a push. Gee, that was smart play by Rickman,
Oh,
Peter.
that was just delightful.
Tap on.
Be good to see that again on the screen.
But you're right, Peter, the experienced content in the Williamstown side really lifted a notch. McTaggart, Howlett, Ghazi, Rickman.
I reckon, Sam, you put your finger on it, though. The big bloke, Venner, in the ruck, has given him first use in what's been a scrambly sort of contest at times, but he's really been in amongst it, tapping the ball on.
But his work ethic has been fantastic.
Saade Ghazi to put his team in front. They've been playing catch-up football all day, and you see the strength of the breeze. There's a 50-metre penalty. It's against Paul Tuddenham, not getting 10 metres away from Saade Ghazi. And Rickman just lets him know all about it in a very gentle manner.
Well, that makes it a bit easier to put the side in front, Sam, doesn't it?
Ghazi second, and Williamstown hit the front. Point leaders here at Point Gellibrand.
And the contentious point on the 50-metre rule will certainly be fueled by that.
Look at that, Rick.
Lovely play.
It's a terrific tackle from Chappell, who hasn't let Ghazi out of his sight today.
No, well, the ploy was to tag him whenever he's on the ball.
In comes Gould again. First one to get another kick or a possession. To Ghazi. Spots a man, goes goalward, and gets another. Was it touched? I don't think so. It wasn't. Third goal, and Ghazi's had a pretty quiet day, but he's lifted when it's really needed.
Well, he's really stood up and be counted when it really matters most. And Richard Chappell, who has tagged him effectively for the greater portion of this game, has finally broken the shackles, and in the space of 60 seconds has put his side well on the way to victory now.
It's these small players getting in amongst Johansson, and good use of the ball.
And Gould there.
Gould, yes, great handballing, trying to set the play up and really thinking their game out.
Saade?
Saade's fish and chips up.
Well, it was great last quarter. You struggled a bit today and even last week, but that last quarter was fantastic.
Yeah, well, I had to pull something out there. It was a bit tight. It was just a couple of lucky breaks, I think, you know. But, you know, sometimes you have quiet days. You've just got to persevere, and a bit of luck here and there, and, who knows, get a couple of kicks and a couple of goals.
You've been troubled by a leg injury, have you?
Yes and no.
It's a trade secret, is it?
Yeah, it'll be all right. It's just a bit of a cork thigh, so... But it was great to win, especially after last week. It was a bit embarrassing last week, so it's good to get back on the winning list.
OK, Saade goes.
Charging through is Smith. Williams. Oh, gave it straight to McTaggart. Here's Ghazi. Saade Ghazi for the first major of the quarter. Trickled it through beautifully. So that means the difference now is 2 goals exactly in favour of Oakley.
Yeah, good play by Ghazi. Good running, hard running.
Only 3 possessions, Sam.
Yeah,
so
well, he's been subject to a lot of attention, Ghazi, but on this occasion he broke the shackles of the Brian Todd tag and linked up well.
Coming with a late run was Scott, paddled out by Christensen. Shanks, little chip kick for Ghazi, also there is Johansson. And Saade Ghazi a chance to reduce the margin for Williamstown. 10 possessions for the Lister medalist a couple of years ago.
10 metres. Thank you.
Suffered a head injury in a practice match and perhaps a little bit underdone. Saade Ghazi. Well, kicking's still pretty good. His second goal for the afternoon. First, second it is.
One in the second, one in the third. There's our gentleman from Coffee Ford there enjoying the game. Good goal from Saade Ghazi.
Not that old, Phil.
Did I say old?
I thought you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, sorry. I must be getting old. I misheard you.
There's Ghazi, and he's not all that old either, Saade Ghazi. Well, he's getting that way. No, he's only 26, roundabout. Good kick, good goal. Been a great VFA player, Saade Ghazi, and a terrific bloke.
Will it work out? Delray well underneath it, but he shepherds for Ghazi. Very clever kick from Saade Ghazi. And I don't think David Rees-Jones is going to be very happy with his team. We saw him at quarter time saying none of these silly little handballs, and they tried one or two too many there, Phil, and eventually it fell Williamstown's way.
Yes, fiddly. Well, you get lulled into a false sense of security when you're a power side, you're at home, things are running well for you, and you think you got the better of the opposition. There's Ryan over the top going for the big grab, and Ghazi onto him. We've seen Ghazi kick those over the years, and that was a ripper.
And Shanks put his body on the line to win the free kick.
Beautiful play, Peter.
Handball to Pastori, bounces off one man, squares it. Nielsen can't quite get there. Here's Ghazi. Is it a Sav? Yes! That's two for Saade Ghazi, and the spirit is certainly running through this Williamstown team, and they've got within 10 points now.
Same
11
place,
in fact.
Same place, same bat station. Here he actually went to the very same part of the ground, and the fence. Will see Saade Ghazi. O'Keefe, good play over the top. Ryan, will see, gets a hand to it. Look where it ends up. Saade Ghazi steadies, and he runs to the ABC crew and says, "How do you like that?"
Gets the kick from Taylor. Delray in front of Webb. Having a bit of an impact now to Copeland.
Kick.
O'Keefe is the target.
Ghazi's on too.
Plenty of space in the Willie forward line. Here's Ghazi. He's kicked two. Now three for the quarter.
Dazzling Saade. And I tell you what, no, it was after he'd gotten rid of it. Could have been another kick. It's not really au fait with that rule these days, Ross. You might have to fill me in, but that was beautiful play there. Out of the middle, Ross, fill me in. Who was that? That was Copeland. Yes, doing well, Copeland there. Beautiful pass to O'Keefe, and O'Keefe puts it out. That's good to Ghazi. Let's just watch after he kicks. Lovely bounce, kicks the goal. Now, not really anything in that, but had there been something in it?
Hand pass is good to Johansson, kicks a shocker, and a free kick holding O'Keefe and Ryan. And Ryan
given
and
50.
A 52.
Oh, this game is cool. It's got a little bit in it, hasn't it? Phil O'Keefe's been fairly important. They would have got the goal anyway. And he's given the all clear.
Going down at Pastori, tangling with Steve Ryan. And that's 4 goals to Saade Ghazi in the quarter and scores a level. But I reckon O'Keefe got Des Ryan in there. A great game last week, running off half-back. The hand pass missed Ghazi, was telegraphed a bit. Ghazi gets it back on his left foot. And the breeze, no, it's all right.
Got it.
By the support behind the ground, behind the goals. And Saade Ghazi gets the first goal of the match.
Well, it's important when you're being tagged, as Ghazi is, by Churchill, and he came in for a bit of treatment early in the quarter, as Peter G called, got a whack and looked a bit groggy. But the bounce back, great running out of the back half by Marnie. We saw that last week with him too. But eventually it finds its way to Ghazi on the left boot. Little bit of breeze dragging the ball across to the left of your screen, but that's a good start.
Delray was open. He got it instead to Nicholson. He gets it to Ghazi. Right foot this time.
Beautiful.
Same result. 2 goals for the Williamstown Rover. Williamstown, well, they might be thankful that Werribee roughed Saade up in the early going.
Yes, Peter, and who said we don't have cult figures still in the VFA? And there's one of them, VFL as it is now, Saade Ghazi, the Liston Trophy medalist from a few years back. One of the most brilliant players going around. Had a run in South Australia too in 1990. Fantastic piece of play by Saade. What a little dazzler. Got plenty of pressure on him. People still coming into the ground too.
It's to Pastori, the skipper. So casually uses it beautifully towards Saade Ghazi. Didn't work overhead, but he works beautifully at ground level. Saade can kick their second, and he's done it.
Well, you could just see that once he retrieved that ball after missing the mark, that Ghazi would escape the player coming towards him. He's beautifully balanced, Saade Ghazi. He can really go around a player, and if he's got a little bit of space, watch the footwork. Watch, that's beautiful footwork from the Liston Trophy winner. Great goal. Well, it's a cruel game sometimes, football, isn't it?
It's fun, though.
On the left foot goes Jason Shields to Ghazi.
Can sink it, Saade. Can sink it.
Well, he has, Phil.
Yes.
Good goal. The last 3 goals to Willie as they hit back. and they trail by 41 points.
Well, that's the place to show it, Saade. On the scoreboard, son. Beautiful run out of the middle there. Got onto the right foot, the former Liston Trophy winner. The set been a bit sick of the tagging and the like, and he goes for home, Rob, yes, and kicks up Perla.
Just since there's that little emotional and physical output about 10 minutes ago, they've been okay, really,
yes,
haven't they?
they've, you know, it's given them a bit of a spark.
Goal kicking forward. Oh, that's off the side of the boot. Back goes Ghazi. Well done against Churchill.
Well, that's a great little contest, that one. Churchill v Ghazi. Churchill's had some big performances. Good work, that really, isn't it, David?
Oh, it's a great mark. That we're just talking about the big marking forwards. Would you put Saade in that bracket, Phil?
Well, running the wrong way there, and he kept his eyes, didn't he, fixed on where that ball was travelling. Never any fear of a player coming the other way. That's a courageous grab.
Yeah, 170 centimetres. I think that's generous. But he's kicked Willie's second goal, and the Seagulls lead by 2 points, partly due to Werribee inaccurate kicking at goal.
As long as he gets his kick away, but nonetheless, Williamstown should be able to clear. They make hard work of it, but Hoare does well, gets the hand pass away. They can try and run through midfield. The kick goes out, Del Rey comes forward. Can't take it. Ball bounces away. Hand pass out by Shields is good. McCarty doesn't know.
Ghazi.
McMahon, high kick to full forward. Ghazi all alone. Goal. He gets his second. And Williamstown extend their lead to 11 points.
Well, dear David, if you were sitting there like Ghazi waiting, golly, wouldn't you be excited about the possible? All the back had to give his foot to the ball.
You wonder how he gets so clear in the forward line like this. It was good play there at half forward, good poise, as he didn't panic once again. Del Rey on the lead was good, offered himself. But you watch Ghazi here, he must have just snuck away. Where's his opponent there? He really doesn't know where he is, does he?
Yeah, and McMahon is it there, just gets clear just enough to, once he gets his foot to the ball, it's going to be on for Ghazi.
And he says no toxic dump as he runs through there. Did you see that?
Good lip reader.
Stay with it for a moment. Some words being said on the way out. Kellett saying plenty. Kellett's chasing them down now. And now they're having another go. Eames is in there. Schenk pushes Del Rey away.
Oh, this could hot up if they don't get out of the way.
Hello. Vidovic
could easily hot up.
The two Western rivals, the Seagulls and the Tigers, stay with us this afternoon. This one could yet explode from Churnside Park. Williamstown have got a boost going into half-time. Now, Griffin and Ghazi are chatting with the umpires.
We're playing as we see him. Saade, here we go.
A chat there with Saade Ghazi of the Seagulls.
We pay them as we see them, said the umpire. Well, we wouldn't expect anything less, would we, Ross?
No, well.
We at least hope that you saw them.
Poker 9 possessions so far today. It's Lowther. Inside 50, dangerous kick. Fed out to Ghazi from 40 metres. Saade Ghazi.
That's a goal.
Puts the Seagulls 8 points in front. 7.5 minutes. Final term of this round 2 match.
The little champ. Yes, the 89 Liston Trophy winner, Saade Ghazi. But a big career. He went over to the... Saade Ghazi went to South Australia the year Willie won the flag. But that man, I shouldn't say that he hasn't spent a lot of time in the Coburg Leisure Centre gymnasium, but I won't say that, Roscoe, as we see Ghazi slipping through a beautiful goal. It gives them about an 8-point break, the Seagulls.
Worry.
Because he's not an AFL player, Ross.
Yeah, maybe. Hollow, inboard. Here come the Seagulls. Saade Ghazi may make amends on the angle. They like it. He likes it. Saade Ghazi kicks his second of the quarter, and it's making it very difficult for Murray now. They trail by 20 points, 15.5 minutes, final quarter.
Well, he had the choice there, Rob Saade. Was he to centre the ball, square it up, or was he going to go for home? You'll see here the decision that faced him. Maybe there wasn't much in the free kick. Well, I was exaggerating just for a bit of theatre because he's one of my favourite players. The umpire was spot on.
Didn't go for the ball.
No, Oh, yeah. But see here, we might just catch that the player had gone into the corridor just to the right, but Ghazi went for home and he sunk the goal. It was the Tigers, Tim, not the Bees anymore, the Tigers. So it was a good return by Werribee to knock over Jack Elliott's mob down there, wasn't it?
That won't make him happy.
Who? Jack Elliott
yeah.
or Tim Lane?
Oh, John. I won't call him Jack. John Elliott.
I told you last week, you never played for Carlton, you can't call him Jack.
I played in 2 practice games for Carlton, and I can tell you I kicked about 5 goals in one before half-time. They gave me the big A week later.
Too selfish?
Didn't like my politics. Didn't like the...
Back to Bowden. Now, he should be able to goal from there. Wind behind him, feeds it off. Ghazi wobbles it, and he squeezed it through, I think. Ironic chance to the Floyd Pavilion. Was that 2-12 to Williamstown since half-time?
The camel through the eye of the needle, Roscoe. From the Lebanese wonder. Yes. It was quite interesting, really, with Bowden, wasn't he? Wasn't sure. His kicking's been a bit ordinary today, Patrick Bowden. Finally decided that's a good move. Draws the player, and Saade, gee, was off the deck before he kicked the ball. I don't know what he was actually doing, but it was a goal anyway.